and welcome to another episode of All Elite Arcade. It is a very important one because it is episode 100, and we're doing it live, baby, because not only are you listening to it in your ears, we are actually recording this on Twitch, on twitch.tv/AEW Games, live with an audience. Audience would make noise, but they're not mic'd. They're out there, I swear to you. They're listening, they're watching, they're commenting. But yes, it is episode 100 of our podcast. As always, Evil Uno and the Chugs here. And I don't know about you, Chugs. We always talk about the games we've been playing. I've been playing a lot of games this week. What about you?
Oh, this was such a good week. Such a good week. And I'm so excited to talk about it on episode 100 of the All Elite Arcade podcast. It's so awesome to be able to look at chat here as we're getting to talk about the amazing week in gaming that we had. Uno, I'm just going to get started,
please.
If that's okay. As far as the game, because I played a lot. I beat a game this week. It's been a really good week. So anyone who watches or listens to the All Elite Arcade podcast knows that my morning routine, of course, is the one and only Pokemon trading card game Pocket. Not too much of an update today, except for the fact that I would like to show off the card of the week. Once again, doing all the battles, opening all the packs, gotta collect them all. You know what I mean? But my card of the week is I got a Goldango EX 2-star alt art card.
Ooh, whoa, this guy's cool.
He's so cool. Look at him. Look at it. I love the alternative art cards, the 2 stars. They're so cool. I love the graphic designs on them. But yes, still collecting more than ever. Still playing this game more than ever. Still so impressed by the constant updates, which once again have continued to be more. It happens so often. You're getting like so many different updates, more and more, which I love. I love Pokemon trading card game Pocket. I don't know when I'm going to stop. Probably never. But yes, very excited to show off the new card for those who are watching it on YouTube, or for anyone watching it live right now. That's the card that I got. Secondly, I do want to jump into what I am Twitch streaming at the moment, which of course is the brand new incredible survival horror title, Resident Evil Requiem. Wow. This game. And again, I'm actually still fairly early within the game because the process I've gone through is just playing Resident Evil Requiem all on stream. But I do just want to say a couple of things, and this is early game spoilers, I guess, or just kind of how the game is designed. This game is one of the scariest Resident Evil games I've ever played. At least with the grace sections for sure, which is by design. They have this perfect mix of you feel vulnerable, but you feel strong enough to be able to fight and defend yourself lots of times. But what I love too so much is I think, at least in my experience within Resident Evil Requiem, this experience has been this game more than any other Resident Evil game has put me in a situation where I feel like, oh my God, I have no healing items. Oh my God, I have no bullets left. Like, Uno, I'm not kidding. 2 streams ago, I ended my stream. I had zero handgun ammo and like no heals whatsoever. And there's just, obviously there's all these enemies around. I'm like, I'm going to have to reload a save. Like there's no way I'm going to be able to go through and continue this. But then right when you feel like it's hopeless, you end up finding some really important items, or you end up finding some ammo. It's like, it always keeps you on the brink of being like, I am so screwed. And then the game turns around, which I just think is such an amazing ability this game has to kind of take you on that ride.
It's incredibly paced. Like the way they structured this game, not only in the ammo, but even like at the height of your scare, when you're like, oh, I can't possibly do this, they'll switch over to the Leon section and essentially ease you into like a different type of game so that you can feel like, okay, if I had to do the gray sections, I think for the entirety of this game, I've finished the game already. I finished it last night, but I don't think I'd be able to finish it. It's a lot like those PT when PT had originally come out on PS3 as a demo. That first person section, or PT was all first person, but those first person sections, I had such a hard time. For whatever reason, it felt like I was there and a part of it. I could watch horror movies, never get scared, but those first person parts of Resident Evil are terrifying. They're so stressful. I feel like I'm in control at all times. I hate it. This is, in my opinion, and you can keep going from here afterwards, but I think this is an S tier Resident Evil game. This is up there with RE2 and RE7 as my favorite ones, and RE4 as well. And this is like this is a perfect blend of all three of those games.
That's awesome, because you are one of many people who has finished the game who has said that exact thing. I'm already feeling like it's going to be one of my favorite Resident Evil games ever, but to know that you finished it and feel that way is so exciting. I did want to ask you though, and I think you already answered my question here. But so you are playing Grace in first person. You're not playing it in third.
Correct. It is so much scarier in first person.
So much scarier. Yeah. I decided I wanted to play it the intended way, with Grace in first and Leon in third, obviously. But it's so cool that you can change that if you want. I love that idea. Also, I was so unsure of how it was going to be with switching from Grace to Leon and how that was going to feel. Dude, it feels seamless. It feels great. And like you were saying, right when you're at the point where you're like, oh my God, my heart can't take it anymore with Grace, then you end up switching over to Leon and having some of the coolest fights and action scenes in a Resident Evil game. Like I recently had wrapped up at a certain section with Grace. I'm going to talk very broadly just in case to not spoil anything, but I just finished up a longer section with Grace where I was my heart was elevated for an extended amount of time. I'll put it to you that way. And then I switched over to Leon, and your heart's racing too, but for a completely different reason. There's a fight that you get into pretty early on with Leon that was one of the coolest Resident Evil fights I've ever experienced, mostly because of how organic these situations happened, and then also knowing that so many different things could have happened. I ended up fighting this large enemy who was breaking through walls and squeezing through walls and trying to climb ladders, and all this different stuff could have happened, and all this stuff did happen. It felt so organic, but it felt so wild. They just absolutely nailed those fights so much. And then the only other thing I wanted to say, other than I think actually a couple more things. So I could talk about Requiem all day, but the voice acting in this game,
incredible,
very good, unbelievable. The voice actress for Grace did such an incredible job. I mean, all the Leon's voice actor is perfect. It's Leon through and through, which I love. I think Victor is an incredible villain who has an incredible voice as well. They've got me so intrigued on where this story is going. I am so excited to see where Resident Evil Requiem goes. There was a big reveal for me the last stream that I had played the game, which had me really excited. So I'm, again, very excited to see where everything goes. And then the last thing I wanted to say in regards to Resident Evil Requiem, and this is fairly early on within the game, but man, I think Rhodes Hill, that center that you're at, pretty early on in the game, is one of the best puzzle box locations in Resident Evil history.
They're very good at structuring it. It's always structured in like three parts, multiple floors. This one is one of the very best ones they've ever designed.
Absolutely. Like there's so many rooms that intertwine. There's so much interesting and exciting stuff that happens in every room. Every room will have some sort of item that is like incredibly valuable, with all the different types of zombies, all the different types of monsters. Dude, it absolutely is one of my favorite locations. Like up there with Spencer Mansion and up there with RPD and Resident Evil 2. So good. But again, I'll move on from Resident Evil Requiem, but Uno, GG's on beating it. That's awesome. You. But again, I am loving this game. I can't wait to stream every second.
I'm also excited for you to end this, because as a big guy who loves the lore of Resident Evil, I feel like there's a lot of things we got to talk about when you're done. Because this game, and I don't want to spoil anything, does a great job of connecting a lot of the Resident Evil games in a way that I feel like RE7 was just loosely connected to everything before.
Yes, right.
And RE8 was just kind of only connected to 7. This game connects almost all of the games and includes teases of potentially where it would go. And I'm very excited for you to play this, because I think that overall, great story, incredible gameplay. This is a top tier experience when it comes to Resident Evil.
Yeah, Requiem feels like it's just going to be so packed with so much juicy lore. And you saying that just got me even more excited. There's nothing I love more than some juicy lore, Uno.
Yes.
Nothing I love more than that. But yeah, Resident Evil Requiem, incredible Resident Evil, will probably go down as one of my favorite Resident Evil games ever. So absolutely loving that. And then I played 3 different games. The next one that I played, and this will be game number 7 that I've beaten in 2026. My goal this year, Uno, is to attempt to beat 3 games a month. I did beat 3 games in January, 3 games in February, and I've beaten 1 game in March, and that was a game I had been working on for quite some time, and that is I rolled credits on Doom: The Dark Ages, the newest Doom title, which of course is a prequel to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Just wanted to mention again, I was very curious to see how the combat was going to be, and I've talked about this before, with it being a little bit slower paced. Dude, the combat is excellent. It's still fast paced. It's just paced differently, especially with the shield and the parry mechanic. I love that the levels are just packed with so much optional stuff to collect and optional enemies to fight and optional upgrades and things like that. The final portion of Doom: The Dark Ages just continues to ramp up over and over and over again with some incredible, you're walking around in the huge mech suit, you're flying around on your dragon, but most importantly, you're able to fight these awesome bosses. There's a string of awesome boss fights towards the very end of that game that are so much fun to fight. And it really, really tests your ability to use the parry mechanic, which is cool. Only other thing I wanted to mention is I am going to miss the shield throw and the shield bash so much if it's not in the next Doom game. I'm gonna miss it so much. It's so fun and so satisfying.
It's the greatest addition to a Doom game ever, maybe. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the weight of it.
God, I love it so much. Yeah, that feeling of getting a parry and staggering an enemy, especially when you do it with the bosses, is so cool. So once again, Doom: The Dark Ages, game number 7 that I beat this year. I know I've talked about that game before. It's so awesome. Then there's another game that I wanted to jump back into. I've been very much in a horror mood since I've been streaming Resident Evil Requiem, and that is jumping back into Silent Hill F, the newest Silent Hill game that I have loved so far, absolutely loved. Really 2 things that I wanted to mention is, I know I've talked before about how incredible the story is in Silent Hill F. Talk about juicy lore. There is so much juicy lore in Silent Hill F. This game is just packed with so much amazing content for you to read through and try to decipher and try to figure out, which I love that. That to me is one of the biggest and most important things about a Silent Hill game. Love that very much. Secondly, I am so impressed by how much of the story is hidden within the game. So for example, very early on when I'm in the town, it's a fairly large area. It's not like an open world or anything like that, but there are definitely optional paths that you can go down. And I love going around and exploring and looking for as many items or documents to read as much as I possibly can. There is so much lore in documents or cutscenes or items to collect or environmental storytelling with locations hidden within Silent Hill F. It's wild. Like, it was shocking the amount of stuff that you find that you could just completely miss in that game, which I just think is so cool. So it just has me even more interested and more invested on how the story is going to exactly unfold and the way that they're going to do it. I think Silent Hill F is an excellent entry into the Silent Hill franchise, and I think it's an excellent horror game. I enjoy the combat. Once again, I love the storytelling. The music nails Silent Hill so well. I think it's awesome. I think it's really, really good. And then the only thing that I wanted to mention also in regards to Silent Hill F is, again, when I beat Doom: The Dark Ages, I ended up beating that game between playing it on my Xbox Series X and then also doing Xbox Cloud Gaming on my Rogue Xbox Ally X, and it worked flawlessly. It worked really, really well. Well, same thing with Silent Hill F is I generally am playing it on my PlayStation 5 Pro, but also playing it on my PS Portal with the PS Plus premium subscription where you can just cloud stream the game. Dude, Sony has crushed the cloud gaming at this point, because for example, I was over at my mom's and I brought my PS Portal and we don't even have the best internet there. Dude, not one hiccup Not one hiccup on the PlayStation Portal at 1080p, cloud streaming Silent Hill F. So I am so impressed with the most recent update with the PlayStation Portal. Cloud streaming really is incredible. It really, really is cool to be able to play it that way. So yeah. Great experience with Silent Hill F. And last but not least, I do have a new game that I wanted to talk about. And Uno, I know we talked about this a little bit before we went live today.
Oh, yes, we did.
I got my hands last night. I on purpose wanted to play this before we filmed episode 100, before we went live for episode 100 of the All Elite Arcade podcast, to have a new game to be able to talk about. And that is Pokémon Poképia. So truth be told, I have very little experience with Animal Crossing or honestly that genre. But I love Pokemon, absolutely love Pokemon. This one was getting really, really great reviews. And again, it's a new game and a new genre that I wanted to experience. Dude, I am so all in on Pokemon Poképia. It's not even funny.
I'm actually not I'm super into this, but to a point that I unlike you got really into Animal Crossing, and this is scratching that itch and way more in a way that I'm scared. I'm scared of my time for the next 2 months.
It's absolutely, first of all, the map looks like it's massive. Which is really, really cool. I love the music, which is really nice. But man, just the mechanics of like, so generally, if you have not played this game, and this isn't like a massive spoiler or anything, this is more so a mechanic of the game. I know a lot of people have played Pokemon Poképia as well, but I love the concept of how you get Pokemon.
Yes.
Like building certain environments to get those Pokemon to spawn. Some of them are common and show up quicker. Some of them are rare. They might not show up for a little bit yet. And then when you get these Pokemon, you eventually befriend them and then learn a new move that helps you either gather more resources or traverse the map better. It's such an incredible way to go about that Animal Crossing-esque gameplay style, which is so cool. I'm so into it already. I'm so into it already.
Yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I will reflect what you were saying. I love the way that you essentially like place tiles together to create an environment, and that environment has like a select amount of Pokemon they can get from it. And like that's part almost of the puzzle of the game, is just figuring out what these environments are. There are clues a little bit of everywhere. Sometimes a Pokemon will tell you. Sometimes you'll find an item on the ground that gives you an indication of a habitat that you have to create, but it won't tell you what Pokemons you get. That puzzle on its own could be an incredible video game. This game is so much more than that. It's kind of crazy. It has Animal Crossing. It's got all the farming that you would have from a Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon. It's got relationship building, but with different Pokemon, so you can build those relationships with those Pokemons. They start getting happier. They start giving you more stuff. They start giving you more missions and learning new skills. There's a whole skill set system that I think is incredible. Not only do you befriend Pokemon, but you befriend them and learn a skill from them very often. I hate to say this, the game's been out for 1 day. I've probably played 12 hours of this already.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so unlike Animal Crossing, where like every day I would play it, but after 2 or 3 hours, you find yourself not having much to do other than like cleaning up and stuff. This game has a lot. In fact, I thought the game was large, and I entered a door and realized, I was only in the first area. There are several giant areas to go through. And on top of everything I just talked about, the creative aspect of it, because it's voxel-based, kind of like a Minecraft, is a thing I never connected with before. I have actually never played Minecraft. And like when it comes to creations, I usually make like one house, get out of the way, and then I really like mainline the story for most of these games. This is the first time where I didn't want to leave the first area and explore anymore, because I was like, oh, no, I got to make this village cool. I started building a multi-floor flower bed with with like a stream of waterfalls going through it. Like I got invested for several hours making a waterfall garden that has no impact on what I do, but I was just having the time of my life, and I could tell. I mean, the fact that I said I played 12 hours in the span of 48 hours, I could tell this is gonna be a game I'm gonna be into. I'm gonna be playing a lot of it as well, and I'm actually very excited because this is the most excited I've been for a Pokemon game in quite some time. I'm very excited to see what kind of events and updates they do to the game, because I feel like I'm not anywhere close to completing what I want from this game, but I would love to see if it is supported faster than Animal Crossing was, or in what way as well, because this is a game that, much like Animal Crossing, will probably have 3-4 years of lifespan, if not more. And it's incredible. I don't even know how many Pokemon are in there. If all 1,000 are in there, then man, I could be playing this forever.
Yeah, God. Uno, very quickly, I did get to a point at one point where I spent a bunch of time. I had a certain amount of Pokemon with me, and instead of going out and exploring and trying to collect more resources or looking for more Pokemon, I just spent like 45 minutes trying to make them all happy. Yeah. Like as happy as possible.
Give them fruits.
Because they look so darn cute when they're happy. Like, oh, thanks. It's the best. It's, oh my. And like you said, I bet this game already is critically acclaimed. A lot of the people who have played it absolutely love this game. It's a Pokemon game, Pokemon being one of the biggest franchises in the entire world. I think this game's going to be supported for a very, very long time. I think so too. If this isn't selling Switch 2 consoles, there's not a whole lot of things that will. Because this is exclusive to Switch 2. I don't think it's on Switch 1. I don't think so.
I mean, the console's only been out for about a year's time now. There was only maybe 2 or 3 major IPs that they've dropped. This is, and I say this as a big Donkey Kong fan, I think this is a bigger game for the Switch 2 than Donkey Kong. I think this will have a much bigger audience. It is a much larger game, and it's a game also that we're going to be talking several times over, I think, for the next year. Because if they don't make future versions of Poképia in like 15 years from now, I would be very surprised, because this is a hit. This is a hit to me. This is like maybe my favorite experience as far as these Animal Crossing style games as of yet, because it has every piece I want and new pieces I never thought about. Like those puzzle pieces of making the habitats is incredible. There's a bunch of other like voxel-based puzzles. Like, to make my waterfall, I had to dig around a water source at the top of a mountain and dig a path into the mountain to make it come out at a specific spot. And I'd have to put up all these bricks to make sure that it traveled exactly where I wanted it. And that alone is me making my own fun out of it. I know there's actual like content in this game that will be equally as demanding puzzle wise, and I know that I haven't even scratched that surface, because where I'm at, I think it's supposed to be like the 2-3 hour part. I'm probably at the exact same part as you are from playing 3 hours. I just never left. I entered one door and left, and I was like, this is too big. I'm going back for a bit. So I'm very excited to keep exploring this game.
Oh man, Uno, your location versus my location probably looks hilarious. Yours probably looks pristine, so beautiful. Every patch of grass.
Oh yes.
Mine just looks like a mess, and just making sure Charmander has a bunch of fireplaces, and Bulbasaur has a bunch of beds.
Oh, I watered all of the grass. Don't you worry. There's flowers everywhere on mine. So. But yeah,
it's incredible.
What a week of games already. Do you mind if I pick from here, Chugs? If I can go.
Oh, please, please, yeah.
Poképia just came out. Of incredible, probably 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 game. Resident Evil, I just completed it. Same thing. 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 game. Top caliber video games right now. Resident Evil, I just want to add to it. What we talked about, the incredible voice acting. It's very cool when you complete one of these games, they give you like extra content, including the recordings of the actors doing the scenes. So like,
what?
DMC did this before, Devil May Cry, where they show you the actors in their outfits with like recreating the scenes that are being captured to make the video game. And so they play almost every cutscene in real live action as part of the bonus content. And I ended up watching so much of that because I was like, man, Grace was an incredible actress through this. Who is this? And then next thing you know, I was like, I don't even know who these people are. And I ended up watching, I would say 75% of the game's cutscenes in this form because I was so impressed.
That's so cool they added that. And that is awesome.
A ton of extra stuff that they've added as well. There's outfits, there's models, there's skins for your guns as well. And there's a bunch of challenges. I don't know if you saw this. There's a big ARG challenge that just came out, but that somebody did end up solving. There's also a ton of stuff that I don't even know the answers to. I played in the game and there's like 4 items I don't know what they do. I completed it. I never used them. So that's, it's an incredible game. I cannot wait to see what comes next. I know this sucks to say because the game just came out, but I am so excited from playing it that I'm like, I'm all aboard. Give me the next 3 Resident Evil games. Give me a remake of 5. Give me a remake of Veronica. Get it all. Get it all out there. Resident Evil is
I think we're getting it all, Uno.
I think so too.
I think all these remakes have been incredibly successful. I think all the new titles have been incredibly successful. Clearly, the audience loves and wants more Resident Evil. I don't think Capcom's slowing down anytime soon.
I don't think so too.
And I'm so stoked.
They're rolling, and it's funny because they've been rolling for a little bit now. Since RE7, they're on a brand new level. Everything they've come out with, every remake has been come out, but they're also not unrivaled because Konami is now doing the same thing and they're doing incredibly well, which from experience from all kinds of different aspects of the world, it's good to know that they have someone neck and neck doing something similar and still doing well because they're going to keep trying to one up each other in a way that I think is going to make for us who are survival horror fans, we're in for a great couple decades of years. I think we're going to be eating good. We're going to be eating good.
Yeah.
But yes, speaking of eating good in 2026, not only did those 2 games come out, but yesterday, out of nowhere, Slay the Spire 2, which is a roguelike deck building game, the sequel to a very, very good deck builder game that I have spent probably 200 hours on, came out yesterday in early access. I just want to talk about it a little bit because I feel like it's going to get chewed up this week considering Resident Evil is out and also Poképia is out as well. But man, if the first few hours of this early access game, you're like, oh, it's the first game, fine-tuned, great. And that's enough. That would be enough for me. I'd be so happy if it was just like a cleaner version than the first game with a few extra cards. 2-3 hours now in, I'm like, oh wow, they've really they changed the path of this game. There are things you could do in this. There are different classes. There are different ways of interacting with the cards. There are different skills and powers that I've never seen before. 3-4 hours in, I'm starting to get excited at the prospect of, oh, there's probably a whole subsection of stuff that I've not seen in these type of card games. And so if you like Slay the Spire, go check out Slay the Spire 2 right now. It's in early access. I believe the only thing that's not fully accessed is they didn't complete all of the art. So occasionally you'll play the game and there are several endings, or at least there is like a timeline that you could fill up. You don't necessarily have to win to fill a part of that timeline. And they would have like unique art pieces for every single path you go through. At this very moment, it'll show you like a rough draft of it made out of crayon, and it'll say like to be updated later. So I think a lot of the art hasn't been done for the video game. Not like the card art and the battle art is fine. It's a lot of the superficial stuff on the outside. And I think that might be the big part that is missing from the early access. So I don't think this is going to be a game that's going to be in early access that long. But man, incredible. I've been playing on my Steam Deck. I've been playing on my PC. The last day, thankfully I was sick, so I couldn't sleep a whole lot. I played so many goddamn games. I played so much, man. I played so much. It's unhealthy, but also I need it. I can't move anywhere. I keep coughing.
Dude, I've been meaning to try Slay the Spire for so long. Now, a question.
Yes.
Maybe this is a dumb question, but could you hypothetically just jump right into Slay the Spire 2?
Yes. You don't need there's lore, but the lore is so superficially attached in the first one. There's a lot more lore in the second one, but you could just jump into the second one and be fine. You don't need any knowledge of the first game to enjoy this. It's more the loop, right? The loop is what you're into when it comes to these games. And they also added a co-op play and multiplayer play in this one that was not in the first game. I don't even know how it operates. I don't know how it works, but they did some fascinating updates to it. This is a good one if you want to go and try it, especially now that you're a little more into the roguelike stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is deck style, so it's card style, but I think you will find something of interest because a run will last you 20 to 40 minutes. So that loop it's a perfect little loop. It's a perfect little loop.
Yeah, and hey, like I said, 2026, I'm wanting to try some more genres I have very little experience with. So like a deck builder roguelike. I do not have a ton of experience with. That sounds fun.
I think that's a good one to jump into because I guarantee you the people will be talking about this game by the end of the year as well. And then that's the big games I played this week, but I do want to give some short updates on Sectori. That is the bullet hell game I've been playing. I've been playing a bunch of that. It's a constant stream of update. It's fun. Every time I play a 30-minute run, it gives me new skins for my ship. It gives me a new type of ship, or it opens up different types of play. So there's classic, where you just have a set amount of lives. There's the campaign, which is in that weird. I ended up explaining this a few weeks ago, but you end up getting power-ups, but if you skip the power-up, you can level up to that next level, and that's kind of how the campaign works. That's been incredible. But now there's a boss rush mode, there's a time attack mode, there's two modes I haven't, Surge and something else I haven't even tried yet. But the fact that I could, for $15, I've already spent 10 hours in this game, and I just love... I could pop in for 30 minutes and leave, and I feel like I've gotten something out of this game. It is constantly entertaining. You must be into bullet hell games. If you're not into bullet hell games, this will be of no interest to you because it is a bullet hell game at its purest. There are bells and whistles, but if you do not like dodging bullets, this will not be for you. But incredible soundtrack, great game. I'm loving it.
Nice.
The other game that I want to give an update to is Mugenics. I'm on a little break of Mugenics, and that's just because I keep hitting a wall. I'm in late Act 2. It's a game that keeps giving, though. I thought I had understood how to play the game when I completed Act 1, and then they started unraveling more systems and more ways for me to expand on my cats and on my paths, all these side quests that I got to do. There is so much content in this. I would be surprised if anyone 100%ed it already. I will be playing this through the entirety of the year. It's almost a guarantee, especially because I thought, man, what a great soundtrack. I should go check out, the soundtrack publicly. And I think I've heard a third of the songs. So that means there's a lot of game left.
Oh boy.
Which is very exciting for me. That's another game that has an incredible loop. There are systems upon systems that theoretically, if this were any other game, would never work together, but somehow this is so cohesive together. It's unlike any other game I've played, I think, of this sort, and I will definitely be playing it continuously. You might not hear some updates from me for a little while, just because I need to take a break, and also because there's 5 other games coming up.
Constantly.
Incredible week for video games. Seriously, I've just been playing banger after banger after banger.
Yep. Incredible year. Incredible start to 2026.
2026 has been very strong. It's been very strong. We know there's a lot left. This is the year GTA 6 is supposed to come out. It feels like an afterthought now because we're just playing constant great games. It is insane. But that's not it for our podcast. This is our live version. In fact, we'll be skipping the news today because we're going to do an extremely large arcade mailbag and the producer quiz, which comes to you right after this.
And welcome back to episode 100 of the All Elite Arcade podcast with myself and Evil Uno. We are live for this very, very special episode. Now, before we get into the community mailbag and start answering some questions, we, of course, have the producer quiz. Once again, our producers were kind enough to send me and Uno some questions. We will give our answers, in some cases, our guesses. And then at the very end of today's episode, we will find out who was right, who was wrong, who gets a point, who doesn't. Currently, the score is 6 points, Evil Uno, 4 points, Chugs. I'm in the process of comeback of the century. I can feel it. Special episode 100. It's going to be a big fat dub. I know it. With all due respect, Uno.
Hey, wait, I'm not insulted at all. Let's go for it.
All right, you ready to jump in?
Oh, yes.
Okay, here we go. So the producer quiz this week, it is a Pokemon Pokedex showdown.
Oh, crap.
All questions in the 100th episode producer quiz are based on Pokedex entries. You must identify the Pokemon that matches each entry. Ooh,
I'm
this seems
screwed.
interesting. Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. Oh, man. This is going to be a lot of guesses. All right. Pokedex entry number 1. It speaks using a language that sounds human. Research is underway to determine what is being said. Is it A, Slowking, B, Jinx, C, Gardevoir, or D, Meowth? I'm going to guess D, and I'm hiding the chat, by the way.
Okay, I'm gonna go B, Jinx.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go D, Meowth.
I'm gonna mark these
gonna
down.
go B.
I'm gonna mark these
B,
down.
Jinx. Okay. Oh yeah, we gotta remember these two. Okay. Pokedex entry number 2. If you are burned by the flames it shoots from its mouth, the pain will never go away. Is it A, Magmar, B, Flareon, C, Typhlosion, or D, Houndoom? You want to go on this one?
I'm gonna go Flareon. Well, that's
Okay,
B, right?
I'm going to go A, Magmar.
Okay.
I'm going to go Magmar. Okay. Oh, and we have 6 Pokedex entries today. We have 6 of them.
Dang.
Okay. Pokedex entry number 3. If a child it has made friends with is bullied, it will find the bully's house and burn it to the ground.
Whoa, these are real Pokemon entries? Okay.
I'm reading that again. If a child has made friends, if a child it has made friends with is bullied, it will find the bully's house and burn it to the ground.
My cousin Jonathan.
God. Okay. A, Primeape, B, Drampa, C, Dragonite, or D, Beware.
Wow.
Okay, so I'll guess on this one, but we'll go every other. And I know we're not supposed to give our reasoning, but Primeape just seems super angry, super angry. I know he doesn't just spit fire or anything like that. I'm gonna guess A, Primeape. He's so ticked off all the time.
Oh yeah, he's the that Adderall or whatever he's on. I'm gonna go with D. I'm gonna choose D on this one. That's a total guess for me.
Okay, and we'll remember our answers individually, I guess, because trying to remember both of ours. I'll remember what I guess.
Oh, I marked them down just to be safe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Pokedex entry number 4. The sight of it running over 6,200 miles in a single day and night has captivated many people. Is it A, Arcanine, B, Rapidash, C, Zebstrika, or D, Stantler? Ooh.
I'm gonna go C.
Okay. I'm going to go B, Rapidash. I'm going to say B, Rapidash. Oh, man, so many of these are guesses. I am so curious for the end of today's episode to see the correct
we might
answers for these.
have zeros all across the board, too.
I know, we might. Okay, Pokedex entry number 5. The world's laziest Pokemon. It moves to another spot when there's no food left within its reach. A, Persian. B, Slowbro. C, Slaking, or D, Snorlax.
I'm gonna say D, Snorlax.
I'm also gonna guess Snorlax. I am also going to guess Snorlax as well. That's the first one that we both guessed the same
Food
answer.
driven for sure.
I was gonna say Snorlax, or it could be like a twist and it's Slowbro instead. But I'm doing D, Snorlax. I'm right there with you. Okay, Pokedex entry number 6. If it rampages, it knocks down mountains and buries rivers. Maps must be redrawn afterwards. A, Snorlax. B, Gyarados. C, Tyranitar. Or D, Steelix.
I'm not familiar with the last two, so that doesn't help me.
But
I think I'm gonna go Gyarados. I'm gonna go Gyarados B.
Okay. I am. God, I'm between C and D. I'm gonna say C, Tyranitar.
All right.
I'm gonna say C, Tyranitar. I think it's either that or C, but who knows? And there is a tiebreaker question.
Ooh, okay.
Are you kidding me? How many Pokemon in the first 151 have wings?
Okay. All right. Let's think. All right. I love guessing on this stuff.
Dude, I'm gonna do a complete guess.
Have wings.
I'm gonna
27.
say
I'm saying 27.
Okay, 19.
All right. Perfect.
That's what I'm gonna say.
There you go.
That's what I'm gonna say. What a producer quiz. Oh my goodness. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to show the live chat.
Yes.
At this point.
Please get in there.
I'm gonna move. There we go.
I don't think anyone knew the answers, so this helps. Truthfully, I opened up mine as well. Just so you know, we will get the producer's question, the answer to the producer's question at the very end of this podcast in segment number 3. But this is a very special episode. This is episode 100. We're doing it live on Twitch right now. If you're listening to it now. We are going to be taking questions from the mailbag, our typical way, tbs.com/arcade mailbag. This will be a much larger arcade mailbag segment, but we're also going to be taking them live from Twitch. So if you are in Twitch right now is your chance to drop some questions so that the Chugs and Evil Uno can answer all about it. In the meantime, I will take the first question from our usual method that will give people in the Twitch chat an opportunity to send their questions. But this one, we actually have 3 questions today, so this will be perfect. We can bounce back forth a little bit.
Yes, which is great. So having 3 questions this week is great. And Uno, if you don't mind, I'll start with question number 1.
Please.
Who sent in a question from Heath. Heath, thank you very much for the question. Heath says, "Hey guys, I need your help. I just got done watching the Pokemon Day presentation, and it got me interested in trying out a Pokemon game. Unfortunately, turn-based have never been up my alley, but I did play and beat Clair Obscure last year and thought it was fantastic." Just a little side note, Clair Obscure Expedition 33 has done that for so many people.
I agree.
They don't think they're into turn-based, and then they play. What a game. Do you have any recommendations on where I should start on my Pokemon journey? Thanks, fellas. Love the show. Heath, thank you very much for sending in that question. I'm so glad you enjoy the show. I do have a recommendation right off the gate as far as a Pokemon game. And that game is Pokemon Legends ZA. I just recently finished that game. It's a newer Pokemon game, and it eliminates the process of the turn-based combat. It's more of like an action-oriented Pokemon game where you're making real-time decisions to fight with your Pokemon. So if you really are worried about having to do turn-based battles, you don't have to worry about that in Pokemon Legends ZA. The game itself is a lot of fun to catch the Pokemon, to fight the trainers. It has a really, really fun story and a lot of really awesome Pokemon in it as well. So yeah, if you're worried about turn-based, but you really do want to get into the Pokemon world or play a Pokemon game, literally Pokemon Legends ZA, I feel is a great starting point for you.
I mean, that's a great suggestion. This seems like a cop-out because we've been talking about it, but I think Poképia is an incredible entry, especially if you're not into turn-based games. I would say that is the strongest of the sub games of Pokemon. If you're not into turn-based, then you've got to go ZA because it's action-based, or you got to go through this. Oh, ZA is action-based, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Pokemon Legends ZA. Yep.
Or Poképia, very vastly different in style of game, but I think that will give you, understand the catch 'em all nature of Pokemon without having to do a lot of combat. Or my personal side favorite game, maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but get the N64 out and get Pokemon Snap, because I love Pokemon Snap. You might have to have an affinity for the Pokemon beforehand to really enjoy it, but that's a great experience that I've always really enjoyed. If you liked it from the direct that you watched, that's a great entry point, fairly short as well.
Yeah, Pokemon Snap is great. And the Pokemon Snap that was released on Switch, also very good. Also very, very good.
Yes, Snap 2, I believe it was called.
Yeah, was it Snap 2?
Or was it just Snap on its own?
Or was it just Snap? I think maybe, who knows? Maybe it was just Snap. I think so.
Someone will tell us in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Uno, you want me to keep going with these questions?
Oh, actually, I've got one from Twitch. Let's save some from right here.
Great.
We've got one from Twitch user Captain Deadpool 8 says, what games do you suggest to people that aren't video gamers to try and get them into video games? Ooh.
Oh, that's such a good question.
Because, a lot of the games I would suggest to people who are gamers will not convert a person to a video game most of the time. Mine are very niche video games typically. For me, if you don't like Super Mario World on the Super NES, I don't think you'll like video games. Personally, I think that's if I give you Super Mario World and you're not into it, I don't know if you'll really enjoy video games. That's my go-to. That's my go-to.
That's a great one. My two, and this is completely other end of the spectrum, and I have two actually, just because I think people who don't play video games, and I think this is changing as time goes on, but I think a lot of people who don't play video games maybe don't realize how incredible and impactful so many of these stories are. Like very similar to an amazing television show or very similar to an amazing movie. These rides that these games take you on, in my opinion, are better than TV shows and movies as well. And one that comes to mind immediately is The Last of Us Part 1. I think that is an absolutely incredible story. Also, you don't have to worry too much. I feel like a full-blown open world game might be a little overwhelming, but The Last of Us is a pretty linear, direct story and a story that will live with you forever. And I mean, we were just talking about it, but seriously, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is just one of the best pieces of media ever created, with one of the absolute coolest stories that's ever been told. So I think if you're looking to get into video games and kind of see what they're all about and see why people love them so much and why they're so impactful, I think The Last of Us or Expedition 33.
That's some great suggestions. Especially, I know a lot of people that have been converted from The Last of Us alone.
Yeah,
the TV show converted them, but a lot of people that didn't even didn't even watch the TV show. You tell them Uncharted 2 and 3 were also ones at the time that I think really converted people too. Just like movie experiences to some extent. You're seeing you're playing a movie. You're playing a game that is the quality of a Hollywood movie. That is a strong suggestion. Thank you, Captain Deadpool, for that question. I picked up another one from chat here. This one is I pasted it for my own sake. Snazzy Azzy 83.
What's up, Snazzy?
On Twitch says, what's a little known older game that you feel deserves a remake/remaster? Ooh. I will say we're now at this point where I feel like a lot of the strongest old games have now had remakes. I don't know one that I think absolutely needs one off the top of my head. Let me think about it. Let me think about it though.
One that comes to mind for me, and I don't even think this is necessarily like a little known game, but this is maybe because I have Resident Evil in my brain. But man, if they remade Sweet Home,
on
the NES, which inspired Resident Evil as a whole, I think that'd be awesome. That'd be so cool. Also, dude, just gotta say it. Bring back Road Rash, man. Bring it back. I'm gonna shout it from the mountaintops. Road Rash on Sega Genesis rules, dude. Bring it back.
Okay, if we're going that route, bring back Six Simpsons Hit and Run. Give me a sequel or a remake. I want it, and I want it now. Both of those games. I can't believe there's not been a new Road Rash game in a while, because they've done Carmageddons. They've done a lot of the, we haven't seen a Twisted Metal in some time too. But like, bring back vehicular attack games.
Yes, they're so fun. They're so fun.
They are incredibly fun. Would you read question number 2 from our arcade mailbag?
Absolutely. Question number 2 from the arcade mailbag is from Kyle. Kyle, thank you very much for the question. Kyle says, hey, Uno and Chugs, you both own numerous consoles. When you are going to play a new game outside of availability on a specific console, what else do you factor in when deciding where to play your games? Keep up the great work.
Ooh.
Kyle, this is an awesome question because I do have a process that I take in regards to like when where I play games. So obviously it goes without saying, if it's a console exclusive that's just on that console, of course that's what I'm going to get it on. But in regards to third-party titles, number one, so I do have a PlayStation 5 Pro. So I am aware that the PS5 Pro is the most powerful compared to the Xbox Series X or the Switch 2. I do have a PC as well, which I know that is more powerful also. So that kind of depends on where I want to play it, portability and things like that. But a big thing for me is storage space. So I'm kind of running out of storage on my Xbox Series X. So unless it's a game that's either exclusive to Xbox, or I love playing first-person shooters on Xbox just because I love the controller format to play a Call of Duty or a Halo or anything like that. So I do prefer FPS games on my Xbox. But lots of times I will end up downloading a game on my PlayStation 5 Pro or on my PC because I do have significantly more storage space on those platforms. So that's a big factor for me as well. So yeah, a lot of it is storage space, and then a lot of it depends on what type of game it is.
For me, obviously, the same point goes across when it comes to exclusives. I'm playing it on the exclusive console. I think I grab most exclusives. There are some games that have no interest in me, but like, a Bonanza, I'm going to get the Switch 2. Sony first person games, I'm going to get a PlayStation. I typically play on 2 different consoles, or 3. My Xbox has been collecting dust for a little while. I've kind of converted to playing the Xbox library on my PC at this very moment. But for a very long time, Xbox was my travel console. When I would go on the road, it was very easy to put that in a backpack, and I would play it almost everywhere. Nowadays, a lot of my games are played on either PS5 or they're played on my PC because with the caveat that I can play it on my Steam Deck. Because my Steam Deck is by far the one I use the most. Most third-person or first-person action games I will play on a Sony platform in my home. That is how I prefer to do those things. Typically, it's because I like to have the experience with the full sound and with the full screen and the full cinematic view of it if I can. And I like being at home to do that. But for my puzzle games, roguelikes, exploration games, point and clicks, narrative games, I like to play those on my PC/Steam Deck. You would think my PC is made for my power games. It is a powerful PC, but to me, my PC is for my small games. It's for my games on the go. Because for like example, Mugenics, I will play the entirety of a flight, get home, and then upload my save so that I can play it now on my computer, and we'll continue that way. And so, any game that I'm going to traverse from one place to another is going to be on PC. I always end up playing my Steam Deck on flights or on travel, and we travel a whole lot. So Steam Deck is my main console. That is how I decide where both things go. And then, of course, there is the Switch 2, which it's Switch 2 proper games or more cutesy games I play on the Switch. I think it's a stylistic choice, but that is how I spread out my games.
And I will say, too, going off that, and I know we've talked about this before also, but I love that now there's a situation where you can play Xbox games handheld You could play PlayStation games handheld, Switch games handheld, PC games handheld. To have that option, like you said, whether it's traveling or not being able to be at home or something like that, so much more convenient to be able to take a handheld console as well. Now with the PS Plus cloud streaming, if you have internet, you're good to go. So I do like how convenient that is also.
Thank you very much for the question. I'm going to grab one more from chat, and then we'll take a break. There will be more questions afterwards. Do not worry.
Lot more.
It's a big arcade mailbag today for episode 100. This one is from Blood Warrior 1176. Says, which game soundtrack defines your childhood? For me, it was Rock and Roll Racing on the Super NES. Great question, Blood Warrior. I'm almost guaranteed I know what Chugs is going to answer.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, was that what you were gonna guess?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, yeah, Final Fantasy VII for sure. I've said that, and don't get me wrong. When I grew up playing Sega Genesis, like Road Rash, Streets of Rage 2, and Sonic, and then an SNES with Mario World and Donkey Kong and Mario RPG, all like incredible soundtracks. But the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack was so impactful to me. Like I still listen to it to this day. It's an absolutely incredible soundtrack. And once again, the Remake Project has done such an awesome job with revitalizing these tracks and making them new and even bigger, which is so cool. But between FF7 being like the first game where I really understood how powerful and incredible storytelling could be in games, it was the same exact thing with music. I love that soundtrack to death. I could listen to it over and over and over again. Yeah, if I had to pick one, it's the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack.
And if you're a constant listener of this podcast, you could probably figure out mine too. Mine is Donkey Kong Country 2. By far, even to this date, it still hits my playlists. The music from that game and from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, are the two ones that I know from off the top of my head. If I hear two notes from it, I'll be like, oh, 3 a.m. in New York. I know exactly what this is. I love that soundtrack. I think the Donkey Kong games has such a unique style. Nowadays, it feels less unique because we're like 20 plus years removed from it. But at the time, nothing sounded like the Donkey Kong Country games. And I think Donkey Kong Country 2 is the best one of them, including for the music as well. I love it. I love it. By far, the soundtrack that has stayed with me the longest.
I love it too, Uno. My ringtone is Forest Interlude from Donkey Kong Country 2. That's a great soundtrack. Also, my alarm is an orchestra version of the Halo Combat Evolved theme. Oh, so I wake up ready to rock and roll, dude. I'm ready to attack the day.
I mean, that's a good way to start for sure. That's a good way to start. Get your blood boiling.
Just waking up, not knowing what's going on.
Thank you, everyone, for the questions today. We will have more questions right after this break. And as well, we have our answers to the producer's quiz right after this. And we're back. It's time for the second segment of the Arcade Mailbag, brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Upper Deck at upperdeck.com. Today, we're unpacking one of their packs. They've been sending out packs to us for over a year now. We are so thankful to them. Today, we are opening up a metal pack, one of our favorite packs of all time. They're the ones with the cool reflections on them. Chugs, what do we have today?
Yeah, these packs rule. These packs are awesome. Anyway, here we go.
Ooh, we've got Buddy Matthews.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, Mark Briscoe with a big chop. That's a big handprint on the back. That's cool. Mark Sterling. Why did we give this guy a card? Brody King, the big man. Austin Gunn. And
very
right
nice.
Back to it. Oh, great pack. Those are some beautiful cards.
Beautiful cards.
You get the metal pack as well as the AEW SP Signature Edition, which features Mercedes Moné, Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega, and many more. Packed with rare hits, stunning parallels, collector heat. This set delivers the energy of the ring straight to your hands. They are available now at your local hobby shop. Check the link in our show notes down below to find one near you, and do not miss the pull of the year. Thank you again to Upper Deck. for sponsoring the Arcade Mailbag. It is a live version of the podcast, which means we have a ton of people in chat dropping some questions. We will grabbing some questions from them, as well as one person who has sent a question in through the conventional way. That is tbs.com/arcade mailbag. Would you read Elias's question, my friend?
Yes.
Chugs?
Absolutely. This is the final question from the community mailbag, done in the traditional way. And like you said, Uno, this is from Elias. Elias, thank you for the question. Elias says, hey, fellas, if you could design your own exhibit in a video game museum, what would you create? I would love to see a room dedicated to the most iconic swords in video games. Congrats on 100 episodes, and here's to many more. Oh, my God, that's a good question.
Ooh. That is a tough one.
This is a tough one. So I love video game history dearly. I have so many books on video game history. I talk about all the time. There's this book, the Video Games Textbook Volume 2, which is the most detailed and interesting book about video game history to me. And I'm super, super fascinated with the really early history of video games. Your idea, Elias, for the most iconic swords is amazing. But for me, I would build a room with replicas of all the earliest designs of video games themselves. Again, I know this is debatable, but many historians consider Tennis for Two by William Hickenbotham, October 18th, 1958, as the first true video game because of the moving graphics on the screen, and it was built completely for entertainment. So to start there, I think would be really cool to build like a full replica of Tennis for Two, then maybe going into a computer space replica and a space war replica, maybe even some prehistory with some pinball machines, things that like inspired video games as a whole, or OXO or Noughts and Crosses, like all that really early video game stuff, both the prehistory and the incredibly early history itself. So I'd go full blown old school and try to get as much of the very beginnings of video games in a room for me. That would be it. That'd be it for me.
Well, on my end, I'd like to go a different output for it, because I think like a lot of times you go to, I've been to a lot of video game museums actually. There's one in Rochester that's an incredible one that has an insane archive of old games. But a thing I've always been fascinating about is video game cover art, especially the first few generations, because they were painted like they were movie posters, and I feel
they were so important.
They were so important because that was the only thing that could. That and the 3 screenshots on the back of a box were the things that would sell you on a video game. And I feel like the art form has kind of lost its way over time. Especially, I remember in the PS3 era, everything was just title character, seen from over the shoulder with a background and a big name across it. And I feel like. And also, I mean, if we're going to bring this bigger, I would also make sure to have the covers from every different country, because Japan would have different covers, the UK would have different covers, and a lot of time the North American covers were by far the worst art of the 3. Not to single out America in this situation, but a lot of times Japan would have the best art when it came to NES games or any of the stuff they were advertising.
Dude, so very quick, I don't mean to cut you off,
Please.
But you're 100% right in the sense of how cool the Super Famicom box art was, because I do have quite a few. Like I have Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 on the Super Famicom instead of the SNES.
Yep.
Dude, the cover art for Super Famicom games was so cool. It was so cool, man.
We're finally at a point that cover art doesn't even matter anymore, because now it's more like digital shop art.
Right.
And most of that is just one character with a word over top of it. So I feel like, not that the art form is dead, because the video game itself it's an art form as well. But I feel like the video game cover has been dying for years now. And I would love to throw a little museum exhibit on that. I think that would be that'd be one I would go see for sure.
That's a great idea. I would certainly go see it too.
Thank you very much for that question, Elias. We have more questions in the chat. I picked one here. Chugs, if you want to pick one afterwards. This one's from Redwing 14921. Redwing asks, if you could voice any character in a video game, who would it be? Now, I know you and I have talked about this before. A genuine goal in my life is to do voice acting in video games.
Me too.
I've been close a few times. I've been in video games. I've had a line or two in one, but I've never had to play a full character. It is a bucket list goal for me for sure to get on a video game. Now, as far as who I want to be, I have no idea. Right off the top of my head, I cannot think of one.
Yeah, so I have one 100%. The problem is the voice actor who voices this character does such an unbelievable job that, funny enough, it's like I'm going to contradict my own answer because, again, he should be the person who voices this character all the time. Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2 is my favorite villain in the history of gaming. I love that character. I love how the range of the voice acting with that character is so fascinating and so interesting. A big reason Borderlands 2 was so incredible was because of Handsome Jack. So getting the chance to voice like Handsome Jack would just be absolutely unbelievable. I feel like it'd be so much fun. But to be clear, I don't think anyone should voice Handsome Jack except for him. But that's the character that immediately goes to my mind is like, oh my God, that'd be so much fun. So much fun.
So I've narrowed down my mind not to a character, but there is a producer of video games that I think I would love to do stuff for, and that would be Double Fine, who made Psychonauts.
Yes.
They made a Grim Fandango. They do a lot of voice acting. Jack Black's been in it. They regularly feature a lot of comedians. I just believe that their style of comedy and their style of distribution of characters would fit what I do, which is just I mean I can't change my voice. This is just wacky Canadian is all I've got going. So if Double Fine's out there, hey, get my email, please. I would love to be one of your future games.
Or I also, bringing up voice acting, to be any character in a Halo game would be like a dream come true. Like that would be so unbelievable because the Halo franchise means so much to me. So that's another one. I could go on and on. There's so many games I love and would love the chance to voice act in. If pretty much end of the day, me and Uno would love to voice act in your video game.
Please.
Very interested. Very interested.
If they make Banjo-Kazooie 3, let me be one of the bubbles that just goes blop, 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 blop. Like, that's what I want to do.
Now you're getting me hyped. Banjo 3. That'd be so sick.
I'd be so excited if that happened.
I do have a question here as well, scrolling through. Once again, thank you all so much for sending in all these questions. The one I found was from Johnny, and this is a From Software question. Johnny said, would you prefer the next From Software game to be a sequel to Bloodborne, Elden Ring, or another unique new property?
Oh, that's tough. I wish you didn't say that last part because I would say Bloodborne 2 right away. But I'd be super fascinated to see what their next new IP would be, almost more so. I want them to tackle something irregular, like space or a cowboy. Like, I get that they do swords. They do swords very well, but I would love to see them tackle something with their difficulty, with their narrative focus, with their structure of the world, but for something that's not necessarily just attacking people with swords. Yeah, I would love for them to do a new IP.
So I was looking at this and listening to your answer, and I was thinking the same thing where I'm like, man, I think I would pick maybe the new IP, but then I really thought about it. Dude, give me Bloodborne 2. For the love of God. Yeah. Please give me Bloodborne 2. The world would just go absolutely berserk. So a new IP from Software would be amazing. Are you kidding me? An Elden Ring 2, Elden Ring, one of the greatest video games ever made, period. Yeah. But Bloodborne 2 would be so unreal. Please give me Bloodborne 2.
Please, that would make me so happy. Thank you very much for that question. We'll take two more. I've got one here from Little Comet that says, do you have any superstitions or quirks when you start playing specific video games or when you play certain game genres? So I will say, when I play a horror game, I do typically like to be in a room without the lights. I think that's not necessarily a quirk. I think that's a lot of people that do that, for sure. But I don't have a routine when it comes to playing video games. I just kind of plop in and there I am. Do you have any superstitions when it comes to video games? I think if we were competitive people, this would be a different answer, but both of us are not very competitive when it comes to games.
Yes, definitely not super competitive when it comes to game. And generally, and don't get me wrong, I love multiplayer games, but for the most part, I am definitely a single player video game player. I don't know if you could call this a superstition, but I definitely notice that I do this before I start playing any game. I go through all the menus before I do anything. Like for example, when I would play Expedition 33, before every single stream, before I jumped into the action, I would go into my inventory. I would check all of my equipment. I would check all of my Pictos, all of my Lumina, even if I didn't change it. I just felt like I needed to kind of see where everything was. I'm doing the exact same thing with Resident Evil Requiem, where every single time I start playing that game, I look through my inventory. I look through to make sure I didn't miss any notes, and I look at my map. So I don't know if you'd call it a superstition, but it's definitely a routine that I follow through where, every single time I check as much of my menu as I possibly can.
This might not be necessarily a quirk because I think a lot of people do this, but if I play a game, I refuse to leave the room if I haven't explored the full room. So for example, if it's an open world game and it tells me to leave to the next room, I will go out of my way. No matter how difficult it is, my brain is like, you have to see this. There's a chance you can't see this again. So I go and scour every little part. If I play an RPG, it takes me probably twice as much time as most people because I make sure I go through the broken path to get every mana potion, every health potion, every weapon. And then I read every piece of weapons descriptor just in case. I'm like almost an obsessive 100% guy when it comes to a lot of video games. That's not all of them, but like if I play, let's say Control, I'm gonna read every single note. I'm gonna get every single weapon. I'm gonna go through that weapon's data log and read about the weapon as well. I'm pretty obsessive when it comes to those things.
Yeah. All right. Do we got time for one more?
I believe we have time for one more question. Let me scour through here. Unless you've got one, Chugs.
I do have one here
Please.
that I could pick up because you were talking about Control, and I wanted to say I'm very excited for the new Control game.
Yes.
But there's another game I'm very excited about this year, which seems to be like a sleeper hit because Benjamin asks us, will you guys be trying out Crimson Desert when it launches on March 19th? Looks to be a sleeper hit when it comes to games releasing this year and has gathered an enormous following already. Looks like such a fun open world game. Benjamin, I absolutely am going to be trying Crimson Desert. And the wild thing, when you had mentioned it being a sleeper hit, like I knew nothing about this game until like a month ago. When all of a sudden all these trailers were dropping and like you had said, all this anticipation for this new open world game is continuing to come out. And the more and more I see of it, the more I'm like, dude, if this delivers based on what the trailers are saying, this could be like Game of the Year nominee. It looks incredible. It looks absolutely beautiful. The boss fights look awesome. It looks like it's going to be absolutely packed with content. Crimson Desert came out of like nowhere for me. So I'm definitely very excited to check that game out. Very excited.
It's on a list of games I'm excited for, but I will be honest, it probably won't be a day one game, and I'll tell you why. Because I do a weekly podcast, and my good friend, the Chugs, is 100% going to play that game. And so until I hear from him, I probably won't purchase it. With the exception of, here's the thing. If they pre-review a week in advance, which is usually that's a strong tell if a game is good. If they let you play the game in full weeks in advance, and it gets good reviews, then in that case, I might just bypass the Chugs recommendation and go for it on day one. But like Black Myth Wukong, I didn't play that until Chugs told me to, and that was an incredible one. So I am excited as of yet, but there are a lot of these types of games, and typically Chugs is my go-to as far as like informant when it comes to these third-person Souls-like games. But yeah, it does look it looks very cool, and we're only a week away from playing it.
Yeah, it looks like it has a lot of potential, So yeah, Uno, I will definitely let you know what I think of it when I jump into it.
Please do. And that'll probably be in 2 weeks from now. This was episode 100, our very first live episode. We play, we typically drop these on podcast networks Tuesday morning every single week. It's also on YouTube, youtube.com/AEW Games at noon Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is our new day when it comes to the podcast. But this is our very first time. We did it live on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/AEW Games. We typically play games at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Maybe this is something we will explore again in the future. I definitely did enjoy doing this. Thank you to everyone that was in chat today, sending your questions in. And also just thank to you in general. If it wasn't for your support, we wouldn't be able to get this far.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. This has been so cool. The best way to celebrate episode 100. This has been an absolute blast. So again, thank you to everyone watching live. Thank you to everyone who wrote in your questions. And Uno, before we wrap up episode 100, it's time to get the results of this producer quiz. This is going to be a big one.
This is a big one.
Is a real big one. 6 questions. So, okay, Uno, I'm going to go to the page with the answers. And
I'm ready.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay.
All right. I've got the mark down. I'll go down the line here.
Question 1. Pokedex entry number 1. It speaks using a language that sounds human. Research is underway to determine what is being said. I guessed D, Meowth. Uno guessed B, Jinx. The correct answer was indeed B, Jinx. Uno already with 1 point.
It begins.
Not a good start. Okay. So Jinx was the correct answer. Question 2. Scrolling back up here. If you are burned by the flames it shoots from its mouth, the pain will never go away. I guessed Magmar. Uno, I believe you guessed Flareon?
Yeah, correct. B, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
The correct answer was actually D, Houndoom.
Okay.
Houndoom was the correct answer. Pokedex entry number 3. So neither of us got a point there. Number 3, if a child it has made friends with is bullied, it will find the bully's house and burn it to the ground. I guessed Primeape. He's angry.
He looks angry.
I don't know how he would do it, but I'm telling you, he'd figure it out. Uno, did you guess?
I put down D.
You put D.
Yeah.
Beware. Well, the correct answer was actually B. Drampa.
Okay. I don't know what Drampa is. I'll have to look at that one. That is the most fascinating one.
Drampa is a dragon Pokemon, but he has like a mustache. He actually looks pretty chill. Drampa always looked kind of chill to me. So to know
now we know
Drampa, if you mess with a child that he's friends with,
he's a ride or die.
House down.
He's one of those ride or dies.
Yeah, he is a ride. Drampa is a ride or die dude. It got really intense. Pokedex entry number 4. The sight of it running over 6,200 miles in a single day and night has captivated many people. I guessed B, Rapidash. Uno, you guessed C, Zeb Strika or Zeb Strika.
Correct.
The correct answer was A, Arcanine. Oh man,
we're not doing great.
I mean, Uno, I got one. You're kidding me.
I got one.
I'm so angry at myself for these last 2. Pokedex entry number 5. The world's laziest Pokemon. It moves to another spot where there's no food left within its reach. We both guessed Snorlax, but it was
Slowpoke.
No, it was Slaking.
Okay.
It was Slaking. So, which is crap. And question 6. Once again, I'm kicking myself in the shin for this. Pokedex entry number 6. If it rampages, it knocks down mountains and buries rivers. Maps must be redrawn afterwards. You guessed B, Gyarados. I guessed C, Tyranitar. Well, the correct answer was indeed D, Steelix. Steelix was the correct answer.
It was between C or D for you.
It was between those 2, dude.
Okay.
If we would have gone to the tiebreaker.
I need to know. I need to know the tiebreaker. How many Pokemon in the original 150 have wings?
I do have to know as well. Okay. Tiebreaker answer. 21 Pokemon.
Oh, you would have won that one. You would have won it.
I would have won. If I would have guessed Steelix. No. Uno, GG's, dude. GG's. That's 7 points for you, 4 points for me. But I am gonna list off all 21 Pokemon who do have wings in the original.
All right, let's go for it.
Oh man, so close, so close. GG's, Uno. So once again, 21 Pokemon have wings. Butterfree, Beedrill, Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot, Spearow, Fearow, Zubat, Golbat, Venomoth, Scyther, Aerodactyl, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Dragonite, Charizard, Farfetch'd, Doduo, Dodrio, and Clefable. So there is the 21 Pokemon from the original 151 who did have wings. And once again, big win on episode 100. Uno, that one's got to feel good.
I move ahead. Yeah, it's a 7-4 now. My lead moves on by one. By far, one of my favorite parts of this show is doing these producers.
Oh, so fun.
I love that you were listing all of these bird Pokemon, and I could see every single one as you were saying it. I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
I have such an attachment when it comes to those first 150.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to everyone that has listened today, but also thank you to everyone that joined us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/AW Games. If you want to watch us play video games, not only are we on twitch.tv/AW Games, both myself and the Chug are constantly playing on Twitch, twitch.tv/EvilUno. Next week, we have a live event, Mystery Wrestling 22. That's on March 14th. You can watch it for free, twitch.tv/EvilUno. The Chugs is actively playing Resident Evil Requiem. That's at the twitch.tv/The Chugs. What else are you doing on there? Is that your full schedule right now?
Oh, that's it. I am 100% laser focused on Resident Evil Requiem. My schedule going forward, once I finish Requiem, I'm going to jump into my Hollow Knight Silksong streamed playthrough. And then I have a 5-game cycle that has been put on hold for quite some time since all these new games continuously release. But I'm eventually going to get back to The Witcher 3, Final Fantasy 6, Stellar Blade, Ender Magnolia, Silent Hill 3. I have 2026 pretty planned out already. But right now, through and through, Resident Evil Requiem every single day.
Heck yeah. Well, there you go. Make sure you join us on Twitch. That is the best way to join us, both for myself and the Chugs. We appreciate you. Hit that follow button, that subscription, but make sure you're notified about the podcast that comes out every single Tuesday. We appreciate you all for taking your time to listen to us, and we will see you and hear you next week for another episode of All Elite Arcade. Bye-bye.